It's time to proceed with League Play of North America for RLCS Season 2. We're going to find out what happens momentarily as we get into the next match. With the commentary is going to be James Bott and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Axel Toss. Lawler, we just got to see Pluto and Espeon really just step up for Genesis. Do you think we have more of that right now?
Yeah, and we get to see you cast. I know you've been missing
it's been a
out.
while.
It's good to have you back over here, buddy.
Yes, it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see these guys play, and also Revival. Like they were saying, these are all names that we're familiar with. Right. Genocomp, Chrome, Sid, these guys have been around for a while, and especially from the whole drama with the Orbit situation, Genocomp not being able to play. So to see Genocomp and Sid team up and grab Chrome, they might be able to make a run, but NA, it's going to be pretty tough to crack the top.
Yeah, it's one of the benefits of going back to people that you know. When you have comfortability in a teammate and you're looking for a team, why not go back to someone you know? So Sid and Chrome have definitely had that hookup. When they come to play together, I've gotten the chance to play with a couple of those guys on my own side, and just watching those two communicate together and play together, they have some synergy that it's something that just naturally happens.
Well, we're going to get to see that synergy firsthand as we get our first glimpse of Revival here in League Play Week 1, going up against Genesis, who is coming in hot off a win. And on the kickoff, Classics loses out to Chrome, and it's going to be Hot Wheels Sid pushing up the ball. Pluto getting a block. Espeon forcing that up the wall. Chrome with the response, but Classics is there. Pushing it into the corner. Gino trying to handle it. Classics gets the block and the pass. Pluto going for the shot. Just missing out on that.
Unfortunately, not able to get the touch, but the pressure still stays on from Genesis, just like they're starting off from last game, trying to put it in and make these guys play on their back heel.
And now trying to keep that pressure on. Classics driving around. Espeon getting the block. Now Chrome's going to have to deal with this one. He leaves it for Genocomp, but nobody goes for it, and Pluto's able to put on some pressure. Classics with the pop. Not going to get to it in time as Gino pops that up in the air. Sid and Chrome both airborne.
Probably a better idea sending two just in case that ball was in a dangerous position. Luckily for them, they're not going to get that pressure from Genesis we were talking about, but the ball going back into the middle, and Chrome's able to clear it out.
Yeah, that was an interesting double touch pass attempt by Classics, almost getting that ball out to Pluto in the mid. Now Hot Wheels Sid going to pass it back to Chrome. Chrome up to Genocomp. Genocomp with a shot on net. Pluto can't get there in time, and Revival gets the first goal of the game.
Good recognition from Revival, noticing that no one's able to get back in time as Chrome plays it out. Genocomp comes from out of nowhere and just slams that at the net. Any closer, and Pluto might have been able to get a nose on that.
And it all started with that back pass, initiating the counterattack. So good play by the team, getting that first goal. Now Classics and Espeon both airborne, trying to respond and even it up. Hot Wheels Sid and Chrome both have a 2-on-1 situation. Sid went for the solo play. And now Espeon up, going for that clear, doesn't get much on it, and Chrome pushing him back into the orange half. Chrome getting that block. Now Sid trying to get the pass out into the middle. Espeon will be there to clear it up the sideline. Now Classics gets a small touch. Pluto will have an opportunity to do something. Just hits it down, an easy one for Chrome to handle, but it looks like a little bit of miscommunication there on defense.
Both teams doing a really good job of playing this back and forth, but the response from these teams has been pretty unsubstantial. You see it just going kind of that ping pong effect that we talk about. No real maintain of possession. You get a couple shots here and there, but no pressure continuously to eventually bring someone out of defense to put on a shot.
And that shot going in, easily handled by Chrome, but still more pressure. Chrome in a weird spot right here, has to get it to the sideline. Espeon, you can see there, didn't have any boost, got the corner boost maybe, but he's trying to keep the ball in the blue half. A pop by Chrome, leaves it for Sid. Sid trying to get there before Pluto, but Pluto wins that 50-50. Classics not doing much with that ball, and Genocomp comes in to try to start the counterattack.
Pluto actually got bumped in that midfield boost, so Chrome pretty lucky that he was able to get the help from his team, as he was the last man back with no boost. Just kind of saying, help me, like I need help. It's not going to work out. But the pressure coming back and forth, Genesis seems to be rotating very well, getting these passes off to each other. And this is the possession maintain that I was talking about a little bit earlier, but that delay from Pluto.
Yeah, that shot still not as threatening. We haven't seen Genesis really get any quality shots on net so far. Everything easily handled by this Revival defense. So can Genesis get something started? We're still at 1-0, less than 2 minutes left in game number 1. Classics trying to push it up the side. Pluto will be ready for this one. Gonna hit down to Classics. Can Classics get the touch back into the mid? No. Gino Cop denies it, but Espeon comes up from the rear.
Good pressure still coming in from Genesis, and it seems to be catching Revival on their back heel. They need to have big clear, and it doesn't seem to be that they can do it alone. They need to get some team plays coming in to get this
could be the
downfield.
chance. And Pluto narrowly misses that shot, but Espeon going for the double tap, narrowly missing. Wide, an attempt made, very close, but Espeon could not get it to drop, and we are still scoreless here for Genesis. 1 goal lead for Revival. Chrome pressing by himself. Espeon dribbles it by one defender, gets it past Gino Cop. Pluto's gonna go for the pass. Chrome actually helping out a little bit here potentially. Classics wasn't able to get that block, and now Sid couldn't get it by Espeon. Espeon with a chance. Tried to pass that out into the middle, but Chrome was there. Pluto sends it across the field. Gino is ready for it. The demo from Chrome gives number advantage to Revival. That one's gonna bounce down to Sid, but Sid isn't able to get a shot on net.
Glad to see Espeon trying to take matters into his own hands again, just like last year as we saw him in, doing some of these solo plays, dribbling it downfield on his own, beating 1 and 2, trying to bring it open, just not enough. Like you said, these shots just too easily saved by Revival.
Espeon had a chance to get something going, and that net is wide open, and Espeon hits it off the crossbar and out to Pluto, who's waiting for the goal, and they tie it up with 19 seconds left.
I was going to say, not only did he shoot it twice, but he saved it as well. Turns out that save's actually a beautiful pass to be that defender rotating in. What good recognition and awareness of his teammates.
What a gamble, though, from Espeon. He knew that a player was coming in, wasn't sure if they'd have the angle for the save, and he goes for the back pass when that ball is half in the net. What a play from Genesis, and we are tied up, seconds away from overtime. Hot Wheels Sid moving up the side, trying to pass it into the middle. Espeon's waiting for it, he pops it up. This ball, as soon as it touches the ground, is gonna be overtime. Sid going for the touch.
No.
Can anyone get there? Classics does! And that's gonna be a Genesis with the 0-second goal.
We talk about that ball needing to hit the ground, but Pluto going up on that wall so well and popping it up. And unfortunate for Sid, he was just trying to rotate and clear that out farther, but it perfectly lands on the hood of his car and just drops dead in front of the net for Classics. And Genesis is gonna clutch game 1.
Oh, you have to feel for Revival. Revival was pressing the entire game on Genesis, and Genesis in the final seconds is able to respond. That ball just floating in front of the net. You could just feel the sadness from Revival as Classics came in and just punched in that final goal. Those 0-second goals, so demoralizing.
Right. Some people's sadness is some people's happiness, man. He's just sitting there, he's like, thank you. Like, as it drops down, just evilly punishing that in. And that's stuff you have to do. You have to take care of those mistakes, and keeping that ball up, all from Pluto, that big clear inside. He put that off backboard. Either way, Classics was going to be able to rotate in and make a shot. So good job by Genesis coming in and putting on that pressure in the last couple of seconds, and then carrying it through after that, too.
Yeah, that's just stepping up on the biggest stage, trying to get this series win. And really, though, the play of the game, that back pass from Espeon, I've never seen anything like that in competitive play. I've never seen anything like that, where the ball is inches from going in. Espeon had to make the call. Do I go for this goal? Is somebody from Revival? Are they coming in from that side angle to hit it off the inside of the post and out? And he didn't take the gamble. Passed it back to Pluto, and they got the goal.
I don't know how he had the map awareness to realize that there was one coming in from that side. And that perfect placement was just enough to keep it out of the reach of the man who was right next to him, but then his teammate able to swing and get the goal. What a beautiful play. I know we're going to be watching that one later on.
And how will Revival respond, having the lead for most of that series and losing in the final seconds to Genesis here in game number 2? Can Revival come back? Now Classics pressing it up the field, but Gino Cop is there. Gino gets a pass off the backboard, but Pluto knocks that harmlessly to the side. Espeon missing his clear opportunity.
Gives Revival a chance to put that on net. Well played off the backboard. When we talk about capitalizing on those mistakes, that was one of them. Just played a little bit too hard by Chrome, but now he has to be the one back to make sure that this assault from this Genesis squad gets stopped.
The assault continues here as Pluto challenges Gino Cop to that. Gino driving backwards. Doesn't get the greatest hit. Classics trying to pass that out to Espeon. Espeon blocks Chrome. Now Hot Wheel Sid misses that opportunity. Gino Cop hitting it up the side. Now Pluto going for the clear. Getting some help from Classics. Classics now trying to block Chrome's shot. This will be off the backboard. Espeon misreads it. Open chance. And that's going to be clutched by Gino Cop. who gets the first goal for Revival.
Capitalizing on mistakes, Espeon goes up trying to get this one off the backboard. Would have been a great touch outside using that corner, but that soft miss plays it perfectly back out into midfield, and Jinukop with a good placement to put them up by 1 with 1 minute left, or 1 minute gone, my apologies.
Yes, that was a chance for Espeon to clear that one out. He missed the hit, and Jinukop punished them for it. Revival scored the first goal in the last game and ended up falling in the final seconds. Will we see the same here in game number 2? Classics off the wall. No, he leaves it. Jinukop's going to get a pass into the middle from that. Now Sid. Pluto misses his chance. Jinukop tries to control it, gets a shot in, but Classics gets the save. Now Espeon is going for the clear. Sid with a touch. Classics will be there. Across the field to Espeon with the redirect in the top shelf.
I thought there was trouble for Pluto as he waited on that backboard as they finally settle this down. Classic has a beautiful touch, and then Espeon going up and going upside down. Able to keep that ball high, but still put a ton of power, putting that out of the reach of this defensive Revival. Really tough to get up and react quickly enough for shots like that. Good team play, and we're back to where we were in the game 1.
Espeon playing phenomenally with that redirect, but a great pass from Classics set that up. And we are all
I can hear it. I can hear it.
Oh, always, always. Here we are tied up. 3 minutes left to go. Sid going to try to push this up the field. Classics will have a chance. He leaves it for Espeon. Espeon putting a shot on net, but Chrome gets back in time. Now Chrome up the sideline. Blocked by Pluto. Classics is going to try to set that up, but nobody pushing up the sideline. Espeon's there for the block and gets the go-ahead.
Espeon showing why it's so good to be up in the air early when you are comfortable with it. Jinukop trying to play that. It bounces off the corner with a mistouch, and Espeon just recognizes it immediately, gets up and beats both of them to it, and able to play it over the top, putting them up by 1. Like we said, similar fashion to last game, but a lot more time left on the clock.
And now Genesis with the lead on that mistouch from Hot Wheels Sid. Or was that Jinukop? I believe it was Jinukop.
It was.
So struggling a little bit. And now Pluto getting the block there. Chrome trying to push that forward, but blocked yet again from Pluto. Pluto misses the ball, and Chrome makes him pay for it with that demo.
Adding insult to injury on that one. We're talking about injury. We're talking about the kind that you come back from, luckily. But with that shot and Pluto making that soft touch, that's where this Genesis team needs to be careful, because Revival does have a good counterattack play. They just haven't been able to put it into factor yet, even though with passes like this.
A counterattack was attempted there as Jinukop put a shot in, but Pluto, that brick wall on defense for Genesis, was able to keep it out. And still a 1-goal lead here in the final 2 minutes of game number 2. Espeon getting the block over Chrome, but Jinukop pressing that forward. Pluto, the last defender back. Jinukop gets the stuff. Chrome's going to try to pass that through, but he misses it. And now the counterattack opportunity. Classics will have full boost. He goes for the dribble. That one's going to get popped up. Pluto in the air gets stuffed by Chrome, and Hot Wheels Sid will try to dribble that one out. What a play by Chrome.
To have that ball literally stop all movement, nothing, like it just died flat, just shows how well balanced that shot actually was. But for it to settle in front, I don't think anybody was...
Oh, that's a chance!
Oh, what a save!
It still might go in! Classics has to get the save, but no! Sid ties it up!
What pressure coming out from Revival. What a beauty of a shot from Chrome too, but barely able to make that save, and then watching it go around. I was waiting for Chrome to actually go for a bump, but instead he tries to sweep around. Probably the better idea, because one big clear would have spelled trouble and he would have been able to get back to save it.
And the equalizing goal here in game number 2 keeps Revival in it. Now, Pluto misses that hit off the side of the wall. Classics trying to move the ball up. That's going to drop down to Pluto. Pluto with the backward pass, but Espeon was too far away. Espeon with the block. Jinukop's going to pass that over to Sid. Classics breaks that up. Now a roller, dangerous if Chrome can beat Pluto. Pluto gets to it first.
You can tell these teams are starting to play with a little bit of caution, but the pressure from Revival doesn't seem to show it. They are coming in guns blazing, just trying to put anything on net to keep Genesis from being able to push forward.
Now we are in the final 40 seconds of the match. Gino caught with a shot on net. Espion with no boost, couldn't get the save, and Revival takes the lead.
Exactly what we're talking about, that ball being pushed up and then just missing that touch from Pluto, able for Gino Cop to capitalize on it. Catches Espion off guard and just flips, tries to get in the way whatever he can, just not enough.
You feel for players who have no boost in net. Having no boost
It's scary,
is
man.
one of the most infuriating things in Rocket League when you have no boost.
I can just see the chat now just spamming it.
But Gino Cop with the placement there in the top shelf, getting Revival the lead here in the final 30 seconds. Espion's going to go up the wall for this. Doesn't get much of a hit, and now Chrome is going to lead the way on the counterattack. Sid coming from behind. Gino Cop is good. What a shot, that redirect. It looked like actually it was a pinch there.
It would have been an own goal coming in.
Yeah, the pinch there almost going in the final 10 seconds. Revival trying to put a second one in. And now Pluto doesn't get the counterattack opportunity, and that's going to be it. Revival takes game number 2 in another thriller.
Back and forth between these two teams. You see like glimpses where Genesis looks like they're doing whatever they want to this team. But then that pressure really came in from Revival. I think they recognize like, all right, if we sit back, this isn't going to work. And they just kept putting it in. You see players like Hot Wheels Sid and Gino, who both mechanically, they have the stuff to make it work. Like, we've seen them do it before. Some of those dribbles that they come out with, unbelievable. But they're getting pushed back on their defense, and it's not how their playstyle works. They need to come out pressure. They did it, and they took a win.
Yeah, and then Gino Cop, though, you said mechanical skill. He is playing with a keyboard and mouse. So I believe he's the only player in all of groups, unless there's a player in Europe that I'm not familiar with that plays mouse and keyboard. I think he is the only mouse and keyboard player in the group stage.
But he's not in the RLCS.
Yeah, he might. Yeah. So Gino Cop showing us how good you can get with any peripheral.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, neither do I. But really, Revival stepping up big, taking game number 2, which is very important for them because they lost in the final seconds of game number 1. It's so easy to let the mind games affect you.
Right.
To let that kind of loss affect your play going into the next game, but they were able to stay strong and get that win in game number 2.
Well, this is Revival's chance. You know, they have the chance to really come back and put on that pressure. They realize that this pressure that we did put in, characteristically, it did work. We were able to keep them on their back heel. They weren't able to have Espion dribble it all the way upfield and punish us for it. So if they can keep doing that, if they can keep putting on that pressure, they're going to make themselves a pretty good contender in this series.
And here we are getting into game number 3. Right now we're tied 1-1. Chrome and Pluto going head-to-head. A big win for Revival on that face-off. Now Gino Cop going up against Classics gets the win again. Pluto trying to get the clear here. Doesn't get much of a hit, but he does manage to bump Chrome quite a bit.
Espion needs to be careful with that touch, popping that straight up in front of his net. Very dangerous for this Genesis squad.
And now long clear into the corner. Pluto with a response, a laser beam in that one down the sideline. Now Chrome trying to dribble clear that one, flicks it up. Classics putting it back in. Hot Wheels Sid and Chrome getting stuck by Espion. Espion with the touch, going for another pass, but he couldn't read that one off the ceiling. Now Pluto going for a shot, getting beat by Hot Wheels Sid.
Yeah, mistake actually getting punished as they're able to play that back downfield. But still, the grouping up of this Genesis team, good job recognizing that you're too clumped up. And now as they spread down, working as a unit, they need to be careful.
Classics went for that dunk opportunity on the follow-up. Barely missed out on that one. And we are even. Minute into game number 3. Classics getting the clear. Gino Cop with the block, but it's going to set up for Pluto, but Pluto doesn't do much with that one, sending it wide.
Actually had a wide open net. I'm surprised he wasn't able to put that in.
It was a surprising hit there from Pluto, acting a little quickly. But now getting the block at half. Gino Cop with a chance for a shot, but he puts that one high and off the backboard. Chrome was not ready for it, and now Espion gets the hit downfield.
You can tell Genesis starting to do a little bit more unconventional things, whether it be just buying some time, taking a touch to the corner, and collecting boosts so their teammate can come up. You can tell they're starting to spread out. They're trying to get a feel for this field.
Oh, this is a chance. Off the backboard, Pluto actually hit that.
Oh my goodness, he's
It's
going
in! He gets the goal!
What? Like, this pass from Espion, he comes up, but he just takes it and he just barely touches it with the butt of his car. And it just levels perfectly and settles into the net. Like,
I cannot believe that went in.
we talk about how Pluto, and he doesn't get the recognition. He is one of the most sound players. And when you ask him, like, how did you do that? He just goes, I don't know. I just did it.
He was coming out of the net and somehow managed to put that 5-mile-an-hour shot on goal. I thought he had robbed that goal from Classics, but it looked like somebody from Revival was coming in to potentially get that save. So Pluto with a nutty goal.
Just Pluto things, man.
Yeah, getting Genesis the lead here in game number 3. We still have plenty of time left on the clock, and Chrome and Hot Wheels Sid leading the attack here for Revival. Gino Comp pressing that upfield. Pluto pops that to himself. Goes for the shot, and that one's going to be blocked by Chrome. A shot back on net by Espion, and that's going to be finished off by Classics.
Good job, Genesis, getting everybody involved, but I like how Espion and Pluto played this together. Pluto initially with that soft delay of a hit, just draws them to jump a little bit early, plays it over the top, and then Espion right back over to make sure that net is wide open for Classics.
Yeah, that shot by Espion missed, but left it wide open, like you said, right there for Classics, and a 2-goal lead here. Half the game left to play. Sid missing his pop chance. Classics also missing that hit. Espion using his E-brake, trying to get that out into the middle. Classics with a tough angle. He just puts that off the backboard, and now a counterattack. Gino Cop on the wall. Tries to dribble that on the wall around Pluto, but gets hung up in the corner. Now retreating for boost as Classics presses it up the sideline. Now Pluto getting a hit over to Classics. Classics getting stopped by Chrome. He attempted that redirect, but was shut down.
Good job, though, by Revival. They're reading these pretty well, getting a good clear out, and then Demo, 2 demos back-to-back. Pluto's the only one left alive. But good job for him delaying, allowing his teammates to come back from the respawn.
Yeah, they'll respawn with a little boost, too.
Yeah, 34 boost, man. Can't complain about that.
Now, still 2-goal lead. Classics with a shot that's going to go wide. And now Demos.
Payback, right?
Yeah. Vengeance. And Classics with a shot that just goes off the post. Now Gino Cop has a shot opportunity, but that's blocked by Classics. Going to bounce right back into the middle. Gino Cop with the hit. He's going to have a chance to pass it out into the mid. Pluto pressuring him, prevents that, but Classics passes it right out to Gino Cop. Now Chrome going to hit that right off the backboard, but Espion with the denial.
Great clear by Espion, playing that high and far. Just unfortunate for him as Revival is able to put that back in. They need some team plays to pull this down, or Pluto's just going to put it on the pressure himself. And now they maintain possession. He actually delays it. I like his change of pace.
Wow, he almost got it around every single player of Revival. Pluto able to eat up quite a few seconds on the clock there. Now Pluto again with the block. Another block yet again. He's going to leave it for Classics to clear it down the sideline. Doesn't get a lot on it, but follows it up. It's going to put it into the corner. Pluto with the pass to Classics, but Chrome was ready for it.
Yeah, good job by Revival. I actually saw Gino Cop play that back down into the middle. Unfortunately for him, his teammate wasn't able to follow up, and that seems to be the issue with this series so far, is Revival's just missing that X factor to put it in that next position, to put some pressure on Genesis, because when they do it, Genesis just seems to be pigeonholed and stuck.
Yep, in the final 10 seconds, counting down. 2-goal lead going to be too much for Revival to come back from, and Genesis, after falling in game number 2, respond with a win here in game number 3, and why not finish it off with a little own goal?
Yeah, you got to give insult to injury, but why not give some false confidence, you know? Like, hey, we let you guys get that goal.
Classics, you know, just doing anything to score a goal. So, and maybe he finds it easier to score on his own net.
Yeah, you do what you got to do, right?
But regardless, Genesis answer back with a win here in game number 3. Revival, they played quite well, but in the end, the pressure from Genesis, just too much for them to handle.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the shot difference. If Classics is able to contain 3 shots on his own, while Revival only has 3 total, and then the other guys keep coming in, putting in that pressure, it's the same thing that Revival technically needs to do to Genesis. That's just why Genesis is winning. That pressure that they come in with and that aggression that they play with is just too much. It's causing these guys to play on a position of uncomfortability. And it's difficult. When you're sitting on your back heel, it's like, okay, well, we have to be reactionary. We can't do what we do best. And for them, that's not a good thing. Revival just, they strive so much on pressure, and they just haven't had any.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really great contests by Genesis. We see every single ball, somebody from Genesis getting there, especially Pluto. It seemed like Pluto was in the face of every single player on Revival.
Well, you saw he almost brought it down against 3 on his own. Like, when you can do that on your own and just allow Espion and Classics to sit back and be like, all right, well, Blue's going to do his thing, but after that, that's where I'm going to act. Like that's a great position to be for a team. You don't have to worry about any counterplays because you two are both positioned ready to punish them again.
Yeah, it's just where anticipation comes into play, and a lot of the really experienced players just have that next level game sense where they can anticipate what their opponent is going to do and play where the ball is going to be, not where it is right now. And that's what Pluto does, and that's why he can get so many blocks. But here we are, game number 4. Genesis 1 game away from ending Revival's chances of winning this series. And Hot Wheels Sid and Gino Kopp working together on this clear. Classics trying to press that up the wall. But Hot Wheels Sid gets a hit, but no one there for Revival is able to make a play on it. Now Espeon, last one back, gets the touch up to Classics. Gino caught with the block. Espeon sticking with it, but Hot Wheels Sid is able to push that down into the corner.
Good job on Revival, starting to spread out, really use that field.
Pluto! He's dirty! Upside down, putting it into the lower corner.
What are you doing? Classics with that huge clear, and then Pluto reading that immediately as soon as he goes up, making sure to use that quick aerial so he's there in time. But then flipping around and putting it perfectly into that corner, just showing how well he can control that car in the air.
Yeah, that new, beautiful Dominus GT working wonders for Pluto.
Looking and sounding great.
Now 1-goal lead early here in game number 4. Genesis looking to close out this best-of-5 against Revival. Now Gino Kopp with a shot in. It's going to get blocked by Espeon and Classics. Pluto coming in for the block, had the angle covered. Now Classics with the counterattack opportunity. Espeon's going to put into the corner. Now passing it off the wall. It's going to be an easy one for Chrome to push down the field. Now Chrome with a passing chance, puts it up the wall for Gino. Gino off the backboard, but Classics gets the touch. And now Espeon is going to have an open net if he can get around the ball. He does, and that's the second goal for Genesis.
All that because Hot Wheels Sid feels backflip. That ball comes up, and it looked like he was just trying to recover because Classics, he recognized was going to get to it first. Unfortunately, being the last man back, you need to put a body in front of that. Just not able to do so, and they're going to get a good breakaway goal.
It just reminds you of those one-on-one games, those 1v1 games where you miss your shot and hit it off the backboard, pretty much guaranteed goal for the other team.
None of these guys play 1v1s. Don't lie to yourself.
Hey, come on. Now a 2-goal lead for Genesis with 3 minutes, 35 seconds left, and that's going to be a response from Revival as Chrome puts one in.
Well-needed answer as Chrome comes off the wall and plays that uncharacteristically very unique angle, lofting it and not even carrying it. It just makes a soft touch. Very difficult to read, and he's going to get a goal off of it. Exactly what Revival needs to get back into this.
Didn't have a lot of force on it, but he did take Genesis by surprise with that shot coming off of the wall. Now Chrome with a long clear. Pluto trying to retreat back, misses it. Gino Kopp with the shot chance, and he's going to put that crossbar down for the equalizer.
Immediate responses back-to-back, and this game's all tied up in a matter of 10 seconds. But Gino Kopp, yet again, another soft touch, putting that in an impossible spot to save. Not only using the crossbar, but also using the underside of his car just so it's light enough so it doesn't bounce too hard. Really well done by Revival to get right back into this match.
Pluto had a chance to break up that play, but he wasn't able to get the hit. But that's going to be a good bounce for Espeon, but Chrome getting in the way of that shot. That was going to be going in. Chrome keeps it out. Another chance. Espeon is able to force that one in, bouncing off the crossbar, but in the end was able to get the goal.
Quick reaction. Pluto plays that up high, and then before Sid is able to get up and make a hit, he jumps off the wall and playing that across the middle of the goal. Beautiful position as Espeon rotates in and then puts it and places it in yet another position impossible to save.
Great pass in, and now a chance off the face-off. Espeon just putting that one high, but Genesis starting to kick it up a notch as they take the lead and almost get that second, or that 2-goal lead, but Espeon just barely missing out. Plenty of time left for Revival to stay alive in this best-of-5. Gino Kopp passes it over to Chrome, but Chrome wasn't able to get the shot. Now Pluto going for the clear, doesn't get much on it. Hot Wheels Sid putting it right back in. Espeon handling it. All three players close together for Revival, but Chrome is able to slow the play down. Now Gino Kopp with the pass. Classics is going to put it down into the side for Espeon. Espeon going up against Chrome. Chrome's able to win that, but Classics is going to come in to try to help out. You can see Espeon playing the pass. Now Classics got it to Espeon, but Espeon wasn't able to put a shot in on target. A good idea from Classics, but Genesis still putting on the pressure.
Classic showing what he's capable of with that pressure, gets down, lands, and then recognizing that a player's coming in and makes a pass back in, but is he going to be able to, just barely missing that second touch. But good job applying pressure and then bumping, making full advantage of where he's at.
Yeah, he used up all his boost for that attempt, and it was a little short. But now, Pluto leaving it for Classics. Sid's going to force that up the wall as Chrome takes out Classics. Now Geno Comp isn't able to get there in time. Pluto's going to put that in for Espeon, who just gets the touch in for the second, or for the 2-goal lead.
Espeon's so aware of what he's coming up against. You see Pluto making sure to rotate his car so when he jumps a second time, the way he's orientating his car's position, pushing that perfectly to Espeon, but then Espeon making sure to slam on the brakes so when he hits it, it goes back across the body of this defensive Revival to a wide open area in the net. Like, so well done and great awareness coming out from Genesis.
Oh, that back pass. Espeon's going to miss, but Pluto will be there for it. Classics has been impressing me with his passing plays. But now they're going to have to hold on for one more minute. A 2-goal lead here for Genesis. Now Classics going up against Sid. Sid puts that off the backboard. Chrome with the stop. Sid's going to pass that back out to Chrome. Chrome doesn't get much on it. And now Classics gets a long clear. Geno Comp putting it into the corner. Pluto with the block. Geno needs to make a play here. Now Espeon getting a pass out off the corner, and Pluto off the post, and Chrome's going to be able to keep that one out, but that one very close to going in.
Yeah, this counterattack is very crucial for Revival. They need to get up, and Chrome trying to take full advantage. He gets both boosts and jumps up to get a touch, but it just doesn't seem to matter as the pressure from Genesis coming right back in their face.
Now Sid trying to get that ball passed out into the middle for a teammate. Wasn't able to make it happen. We're in the final 30 seconds. Classics and Pluto both in the same spot. Pluto just lobbing that one in, trying to waste these final seconds. Espeon up in the air, passing it for Classics. No, he's going for the double tap. That's going to go down for Classics. Classics passes it backwards. Pluto's able to knock it over to the side, but as we count it down, this is going to be a 3-1 series victory for Genesis over Revival.
Genesis doing one. Both their series playing today showing up 3-1. And it seems to be as soon as they get the momentum going and they get comfortable with what's happening against this other team, they really put together a solid game plan. Even with that last couple of seconds, you saw, okay, Espeon just showing why he's so good in the air. That second touch, just playing it over the top, it just wasted so much time. As two players on defense are just sitting there like, what do we do? And they like there's nothing. There's nothing you can do in a situation like that other than send somebody up. But when you have a second touch coming in, you can't predict that.
Yeah,
it's
and
not possible.
Espeon getting that hat trick and just alluding to what you're saying, just a great all-around team play. We saw a lot of passing plays from Genesis. So they did a very good job staying in it and getting their second victory of the day in the series. So they must be feeling very good about that. But that's going to be it for us down here on the field. We're going to go ahead and throw it back on over to the analysts. Axel Toss, take it away.
Thank you, James Bott and Lawler. Another great match there from Genesis, showing up pretty strong, obviously, in their first match and continuing it through again in their match against Revival. That's 2 wins on the day for Genesis, which they're certainly going to be excited about. Let's take another look at that match as we check out the Mobile One High Performance replay.
Genesis came alive with a lot of really good team plays. We see right here Espeon popping out to Pluto. Intentional or not, it's really smart of Pluto to be their first teammate.
Yeah, they had some kind of sloppy play, honestly, towards the beginning, but it was team play here. This buzzer beater, really excellent presence of mind by Classics, realizing that he had the opportunity to score this one. And kind of this interesting touch there from Hot Wheels, dropping it right down on top of him. And
Espeon coming alive still in this game. We get a redirect dropping down from the top. Espeon really showing a lot of his mechanical skill.
That save there by Espeon. He was able to get it away. Hot Wheels Sid capitalizing on that one. There was some rough defensive moments for Genesis, but it didn't punish him too hard.
And Pluto still showing that he could be their first team as well. Classics coming in for that a little too early, but thankfully he had to drop in a net.
But another one here. They're able to put another one there. There's these team plays. We talked about that earlier. We're talking about it again. Watch the way that they just pass it between each other. Pluto had a lot of great solo plays, was able to put another one in there, but here he comes again. Another pass play. We'll drop this one around. Actually got saved away there by Geno. They're finally able to finish it on the pass from Pluto to Espeon.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Pluto. You know, he might be quiet some games, but he is one of the most mechanically sound players I know. He just doesn't really do it very often. Only when the opportunity is kind of given to him. He doesn't like to be too flashy or hog the ball at all. But some things that guy does, I'm like, I don't know any other player that can pull it off. It's kind of like obscene.
Well, that drop shot where he pops it up and it's just the right angle to drop in 5 meters per second or some just slow shot, but it doesn't matter. It went in. No one thought it was going to go.
Genesis is pretty good at those shots. And
Yeah.
if we're speaking in the context of last week where we had the qualifiers, Genesis had a little bit of a question mark based on, you know, they didn't automatically go through, right? They dropped to the lower bracket pretty quickly on in the qualifiers, but they still ended up making it, and now they have 2 wins. They're 2-0. So what does this say about Genesis as the league proceeds forward?
I mean, we talked a little bit about Espeon being unconfident in himself. It's something that he's brought up a lot, especially on Twitter. He talks about, like, I have a bad week. I don't feel so good. He's feeling confident, and it's pretty obvious. I think he knew that James was casting him because it seemed like he was trying to make Dad proud. You know,
For
it seemed like
sure.
he was trying to make him proud. But as long as they can just continue this momentum, they're the kind of team that has their on and off days. But the fact that they got both these wins out so early on, I think is a really good sign for them continuing into league play.
I do think it is really important that they got these wins against the kind of what we were considering maybe lower level teams coming in, the teams that we had question marks around, because they really are going to have to be able to stack up the wins here once they're going to be facing up against teams like Take-Two or G2, the teams that were like, you really are going to have to fight for the wins here. So it's really critical that they're getting these wins early on if they want to be able to stay competitive moving forward.
Cool. It's certainly a lot of fun to watch Espeon and Genesis, and we'll see how they do moving forward in the league. Of course, we have plenty more matches coming your way from the Rocket League Championship Series. Speaking of high caliber teams, we have a pretty high caliber team coming up next. Yes, the defending world champions, G2 eSports, is up next on stream, featuring Cronovi, Lachinio, and Overzero. They're going to be going up against Revival, and Genesis is going to take a little break now that they have their 2 wins. So stay tuned to twitch.tv/Rocket League. You're watching the Rocket League Championship Series, Season 2. We'll be right back.